to my shoulder. Come on. Hi guys. I'm just laughing because eating disorders are so stupid. I'm going to tell you what happened to me this week. Well, last week actually, because it's now Tuesday. And I'm also going to give you some tips. And these tips obviously are for people who are also struggling with an eating disorder, especially binge eating disorder or bulimia. You're going to fly off, aren't you? Yeah, I can see it. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Aren't you gonna stay with me? Aren't you gonna stay with me on my shoulder? Yeah, where was I? So, until last Monday, it's now Tuesday, but so until last Monday, not yesterday, but the Monday before that, I was doing a really good job. I had been eating really healthy, and I also started to eat some of my fear foods, such as raw cacao. And raw cacao is a fear food for me because it contains a bit more fat, even though it's healthy fats, than other high carb foods. So I decided to just go ahead and eat raw cacao because I have an hormonal imbalance that I want to restore, and I read that raw cacao is really good for that. So I was doing a really good job. I even succeeded in not working out 1 day a week because I also have an exercise addiction. So I was doing so well and I felt amazing. But then last Tuesday I went on a hike with Luki to shoot some footage for a new video with Luki. Stay tuned for that. But on my way home I started to think, and it was kind of like the eating disorder was talking to me, and it was telling me, you know what, you are feeling so good, but that's not gonna last. You are never going to be able to keep this up. So, you know, you're gonna be miserable for the rest of your life. And I was like, no, this is just a negative thought, and it's just a thought. I do not need to act upon it, and I can just push it away, you know. I can first allow it to be there and be conscious of it, like, okay, I'm thinking this really negative thought and now I'm choosing not to give any attention to it. So I thought I had pushed it aside completely, but apparently I hadn't, because when I was almost home I was suddenly full of negative thoughts, and the eating disorder was telling me, you know what, you're gonna look at the footage of you and Luki and you're gonna see that you are still so incredibly fat. You are going to see that you are huge, and you know what, you've been working out every day for the past week and you've been eating so healthy, and what you're gonna see is that it didn't do shit for you, okay? You're still fat, you're never gonna get the figure that you want in a healthy way, and you might just as well binge, you know? And I was like, nah, stupid eating disorder, no. And I made a huge mistake. I watched the footage, and I should actually have waited until the next day to look at the footage, because I kind of already knew that what the eating disorder was telling me was indeed going to happen. So I looked at the footage and it was kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. What I saw was me being huge. Like, I hate my shoulders and how wide they are, and I hate my arms. They're like super chubby, and like while I'm making this video, like I'm looking at my screen and I'm like, it's not that bad, and I've just been binging for 5 days in a row. So, but at that time, even though I was doing a really good job and I could feel that I had lost so much weight, but still I looked at the footage and I thought I looked huge. Rationally speaking, I knew that this was just the eating disorder manipulating me. It was causing body dysmorphia to make sure I was gonna go back to binging. My eating disorder did not want to let me go. And I knew this, but still the eating disorder attack surprised me that I was just helpless. I knew that what I was seeing on the video was probably not correct. I was probably not as huge and disgusting as I thought at that moment. But I was so surprised by this trigger that suddenly happened that I was just helpless and I gave into a binge. I panicked. What I should have done was call a friend. Well, I did that. I called my boyfriend, but I couldn't reach him. And I also called other friends, but they were on vacation, so they didn't pick up their phone. But there was another alternative, which was taking Alprazolam, which is a calming, well, it's a sedative actually. I could have taken that, but in that moment I didn't think of that. So I panicked and I had a binge. And because I was doing so well the days before, I was so devastated that I binged again that I was kind of overwhelmed. And the panic attack, well, it wasn't really a panic attack, but I kind of got stuck in this panicky thing, and it just made me binge for 5 days in a row, which is really detrimental to like everything. I gained so much weight, and what happens when I binge too much is that I get edema in my legs and actually in my entire body. So I'm still really swollen right now, but it's way better than yesterday and the day before. So I get edema in my entire body, and it makes me feel really uncomfortable and even fatter than I actually am, because edema is just water retention. It's not actually fat, but it can act as fat, and it may look as though you're fat, but you're really not. So it makes me feel really uncomfortable, even more insecure than I already am, and that leads to me locking myself up in my house, which leads to depression, and depression leads to more binging. So that's what happened last week, and yesterday I was able to pick myself up again and say, you know what, it's 5 days of binging is enough, and I don't want to do this anymore. And I found the strength to stop binging. But yesterday something really emotional also happened that made me want to binge again. And this morning I woke up with the idea of, you know, I'm just gonna binge. But I had to go to the doctors really early, so yeah, I had to go to the doctors first, and like on the way to the doctors I was just riding my bike and listening to some music, and the music was so beautiful and it was so stimulating, and I was like, oh, you know what, the sun is shining, I'm listening to this awesome music, and I just want to dance with my hula hoop, I want to go on hikes with Lucky, I want to go to the gym and work out on this awesome music. And I was like, if I binge, then I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to sit in my couch in front of the TV, eating myself to death, and probably also drinking myself to death. And that's going to be it. And then tomorrow I'm going to feel even worse about myself, and I'm just going to do the same thing over and over again. And I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. And also this morning I read some comments on YouTube about my videos, and they were so loving. Like, people were telling me that they really appreciate my videos with Lucky, and even the videos about me talking about my eating disorder and opening up about it. And they were so supportive and encouraging, and they even told me that my videos made them happy, and I was like, wow, this is such a dream, this is what I wanted. And it's finally starting to happen, and that really motivated me to make this video today. And there's something that I feel is also really important to tell you, and that's I'm usually really hard for myself, and that often leads to binging. I'm just gonna tell you what I felt today. I have been going to the gym and doing the same things every day, which is really boring. And lately I've been feeling like I want to go back to karate. But in order to do that, I have to prepare myself. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go outside the next few days and train karate because I feel really inspired to train karate. But today, I still have the edema in my legs and I don't feel strong enough to train karate. I do feel strong enough to go to the gym and just go on the cross trainer for an hour or something and row a little, but I don't feel strong enough to actually go outside by myself and train karate. And the eating disorder jumps onto that and is like, oh, you poor thing. You're not strong enough to train karate today? You are so fucking weak, you loser. You might as well just binge because you know what? You can't have your perfect day with karate in it today, so... And I would usually binge because of that. I felt like binging because of that. But I said no. I am not going to binge because I don't feel strong enough to practice karate today. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start to be less hard on myself. I am going to make a video about my misery, which is going to make me feel good. I am going to go to the gym. It might not be karate, but it's better than nothing. So that is going to make me feel good. I have to see my grandparents today at 2 p.m. So, or 2 a.m. I don't know, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever. And the eating disorder, you know, an hour before this video, my eating disorder was telling me, oh fuck, you have to go and see your grandparents. But I don't want that because I want to binge. You should call them and tell them that you can't make it today. And then you can go to the store right now and binge, because you can't binge before you see them, because then you will be too sick to sit there, because you know you're going to be bloated and feeling really crappy. So just call them and cancel your appointment, and then you can just binge. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to cancel my grandparents. I'm going to see them, and that is also going to make me feel good. And you know what? After all of these things, I am going to sit in my couch in front of the TV and I'm gonna watch an episode of Dr. House with a nice little coffee, because I deserve to rest and I don't have to do all of the things that I want to accomplish in my life today. I just have to make sure that I don't binge today, that I eat healthy, that I rest a little because I'm exhausted from fighting my eating disorder, and it's okay to rest. It's okay to take care of yourself. And I realize that now. I realize that there is white and black, and then there is gray. And today I'm choosing for gray. I'm choosing gray, and it's so easy. It's so simple, but you just have to motivate yourself. And I don't know, a few months ago I would have never been able to do this like I am doing this today, but like I said, it's a process. So my first tip would be, don't be so hard on yourself. The second tip that I want to give you guys is often when you feel the urge to binge, you start to fantasize about it. And you start to think like, what if I would go to the store and I would buy a bag of chips or fish sticks or whatever. What if I would go to the store and like, what would I buy? What would I want to eat? And you start to visualize all of the foods that you would like to eat. And what I used to believe is that it was me fighting the eating disorder. I thought that I was comparing, you know, what would be best, binging or not binging. And I honestly thought that there was a possibility that I could say no. But that was actually not what I was doing. What I was doing was creating this pressure and this feeling of I have to. Like the moment you start fantasizing and you go along with it, you have lost your battle. You don't even stand a chance. So I honestly thought that in these moments where I was fantasizing, I was still trying to fight the eating disorder, but you're actually not. You're going along with it. So the moment you start to fantasize, you need to stop it. you need to say, oh no, I'm not going to do that. It is not an option, so I'm not even going to think about it, and I'm just going to go and do something else. But that is a choice. It is not easy, and it took me a very long time to be able to do that. It is honestly a choice. You have to choose to not let yourself be dragged into that fantasy, because the moment you go along with it, you're gone, you know. I hope this is helpful in some way. To end this video, I just really want to thank the people who took the time to comment on my videos in such a loving and encouraging way. I mean, Melissa, thank you so much. And there was also someone who said that I have touched many hearts by my videos, and I mean, thank you for saying that, because you know what, you have touched my heart. I don't know if you guys realize it, but you may be sitting behind your computer in another part of the world, and you are actually changing my life. So I hope that in return I can give you a lot more videos with Lucky in it, and I just hope that even if it's for only for 3 minutes, I hope that I can truly entertain you guys with my videos in the future. And that is kind of my present to you. So I feel like, yeah, you're giving me so much love, and in return for that, I just want to keep entertaining you. I'm just gonna end this video because I feel like I'm just rambling on. But stay strong. I know what you're going through, and you're not alone, and you are going to get through this, and I am going to get through this. We're all going to get through this. And just remember that I love you guys. Bye!